Hey, good morning, guys. Dean with your 2-minute truth. Hey, you've heard it talked about a newborn baby can hear and recognize the sound of a mother's voice, or can smell the smell of a mother's skin. And if the mother's even in the room and starts talking, the baby can recognize it. And if it's with somebody else, it longs for its mother. You've also heard talked about the still small voice of God. And oftentimes we as Christians, as we're walking through our Christian walk, we struggle with that. We go, what does it sound like? How loud is it? Is it a loud whisper? Is it a small whisper? How do we recognize it? Abram was in the same place. When he was first called in chapter 12 of Genesis, God announces and he says, hey, Abram, this is my plan for you. Over the next 35 years, God's going to come back and speak to Abram. In 15, he says, after these things, the word of the Lord came to Abram in a vision, saying, do not be afraid, Abram. I am your shield, your exceedingly great reward. In 17, it says, when Abram was 99 years old, the Lord appeared to Abram, and said to him, I am Almighty God. Walk before me and be blameless. Every time God comes to him, he announces, hey, I'm God. I am the God who brought you out of this land. Well, it's so cool because once Abraham obeys, we see a change. In chapter 18, so right before this in chapter 17, Abram and his whole household was circumcised. He started to obey God. In chapter 18, it says, so he lifted his eyes and looked, and beheld 3 men were standing by him. And when he saw them, he ran from the tent door to meet them, and bowed himself on the ground and said, my Lord, if I have now found favor in your sight, do not pass on by your servant. Guys, he recognized, after 35 years, he began to recognize God. As you follow, as you walk in your Christian walk, as you obey God, you will begin to recognize that still small voice. So if you're struggling and if you're in that place where you're going, I don't know where God is guiding me, I don't know what he's calling me to do, stay steadfast in following him, being obedient to him, and sure enough, you will begin to hear and recognize when God is in the room. Love you guys. We'll talk to you later.